Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joybaking.com. Today we're going to make a pomegranate and apple jelly. This is a two-layered dessert, and we will start by making our pomegranate jelly. So you will need 2 cups, that's 480 milliliters of pomegranate juice, and just pour that into a saucepan. Now when I'm buying my juice, I always look at the ingredients on your container and make sure it says 100% fruit juice. I don't like sugar or water or anything added, just 100%, and that will give you that really intense fruit flavor. So since there is no sugar in the juice, I like to add a little sugar because pomegranate is quite tart tasting. Now you can use like no sugar or as much as you want. Really, it's to taste. For me, for these 2 cups, I like to use a half a cup, 100 grams of granulated white sugar. That sweetens it up a bit, but it's not like really sweet. So then we will need to, of course, set our fruit juice. So just put 1/3 of a cup, 80 milliliters of cold water. And then to that, I'm going to add 3 teaspoons, which would be 9 grams, of an unflavored powdered gelatin. And that normally, at least if you live in North America, comes in these little small boxes. And then there's these little envelopes inside. So you will need, for 3 teaspoons, you will need a little more than one of these little 1/4 ounce, 7 gram envelopes. And you'll find this on the baking aisle of your grocery store. So, because it's just little tiny, dry, granular gelatin, you need to just sprinkle that over the top of the cold water because we have to activate the powdered gelatin. And we need cold water to do that. And so what happens is the gelatin absorbs that cold water and kind of swells and becomes really soft and spongy. So what you got to do is just do that and then just let it sit for maybe 5 minutes until you'll notice it gets really soft and swells up. And while that's happening, because what happens once your gelatin gets to that point, you need to add it to a hot liquid, and that will dissolve your gelatin. So what we're going to do is heat our pomegranate juice and sugar and stir, because we want that sugar to dissolve, just until your juice is hot. Don't boil it, just hot. Okay, our juice is really hot, so I'm going to take that off the heat, and as you can see, our gelatin is nice and soft and spongy. So now what we're going to do is just take your gelatin and add it into your hot pomegranate juice. And then what we want to do is dissolve that gelatin. So I just put it back on the heat, just really low. And then what you want to do is just keep stirring it just to dissolve. It only takes like a minute or so. It doesn't take very long. But we want to make sure it's all dissolved into that hot juice. Okay, so that looks good. So just take it off the heat. And then what you might want to do is just take a spoon, and then you can just see, if you take a little of the juice, you can see that it's nice and clear. That means the gelatin is all dissolved. So now, what I'm going to do is just pour it back into this measuring cup. So, and then, now I'm using 6 servings for this. You could make more or less depending how much jello you want or jelly you want. I just have a variety of serving dishes here, some nice glass, you can see, or just bowls. You can use wine glasses, really just anything. And then just evenly divide your mixture. Now, normally you can just eyeball it because you're using all the same. For this, it's a little more difficult because they're all different sizes. So what I'm going to put is about 1/2 cup in each serving dish. And then what we're going to do is let this cool down just a little, and then you just put it into the refrigerator and let it firm up. Now that, depending on how cold your fridge is, I find between, say, 3-4 hours, because you want to make sure that your pomegranate jelly is quite firm so that when we pour our apple jelly on top, you'll have 2 separate layers. So that looks good. Just divide that. So I'm just going to let this cool down and then put them in the fridge, and when we come back, we'll start our apple jelly. So as you can see here, our pomegranate jelly is nice and firm. So now we're ready to make our apple jelly. It's really the same thing again. You will need 1/3 cup, 80 milliliters of cold water. Again, 3 teaspoons, 9 grams of your unflavored powdered gelatin. Sprinkle it over the top. So, and then 2 cups, 480 milliliters of apple juice. Again, this is 100% apple juice. No water, no sugar added. And then, again, sweetened to taste. I find about 1/3 cup, 65 grams of granulated white sugar is what my family likes. And I'm going to let that, the gelatin become nice and soft and spongy, and I'm going to heat the apple juice until it's nice and hot. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing as we did before. Our gelatin is nice and soft and spongy. We're going to just add that to our apple juice. Turn your heat down to low and then just stir it until your gelatin dissolves. Okay, so I'm just going to check. Looks pretty clear. So I'm going to turn the heat off. And then I'm going to pour this back into the measuring cup. Because at this point, what we're not going to do, you don't want to take that hot apple jelly and pour it over your cold set pomegranate jelly. So what we're going to do is let our apple juice here cool down to room temperature. And then when we come back, I will show you, we'll pour it over our pomegranate jelly. So now our apple jelly has cooled down to room temperature, so I can pour it over top of our pomegranate jelly that has set. And then what we're going to do is just put these back into the refrigerator for, again, 3 to 4 hours until they're set. And when we come back, I will show you how to serve your jellies. So our pomegranate jelly is now ready. As you can see, don't they look gorgeous? I'm going to give it a try. I really like the intensity of flavor. We have that tart flavor of the pomegranate, kind of tempered by the sweetness of the apple juice. It's really nice. Now, I often just serve it as is. But, especially the kids, they like either, maybe you could put a little vanilla ice cream or even a custard sauce, or you could do whipped cream. You could just put a dollop of whipped cream on there, or you could put it in a piping bag with the tip if you wanted to dress this up for company or something, and just put a nice little swirl on there. And then if you have pomegranate seeds, that would be very nice, or other fruit. I actually found these chocolate covered pomegranate seeds, which are really nice. They have a nice crunch to them, which goes good with the softness of the jelly. Now these, you can cover and store these in the refrigerator for probably 5 days, and you know, experiment with this. You can use other types of fruit juice. If you don't like pomegranate, the kids don't like it, you know, try something else. Enjoy. And until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski from joybaking.com.